the results from the L.E. Wilson neck expanding Mandrel die right now on Pirate Firearms and reloading. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going back to the L.E. Wilson case expanding Mandrel die. This is the second video, so if you want my first impressions running through it, how to set it up, go and check out that video. I will try and get a link in the comment, the description, etc. But I just wanted to go over what I've actually found from it, or more to the point, the results, how well it's actually working out for me. And I have to say, the short answer is outstanding. So in the initial video, I did use some lime and dry neck lube when I did my 223 brass. I did a little bit of an experimentation too. I did some in graphite, and you'll notice I have a black jar sitting in front of me, and that actually happens to contain graphite. I don't really think it makes a big difference. The only downside to graphite that I've noticed, and you can see here, sometimes you get a big clump of graphite on the side of the wall, and you have to sort of bang it off so you don't get graphite all over the place. The other problem with graphite is it gets everywhere, and of course, graphite being the primary ingredient in a pencil tends to mark things as well, whereas the lime and dry neck lube does not. So take that for what it is. I don't think there's a big difference in the two. I've just learnt to push the neck into the graphite, give it a bit of a tap on the side on the plastic jar so I'm not damaging my nice brass, and I carry on. I don't know about, you know, whether the graphite actually, well, the graphite should aid in bullet seating as well. I don't know if that's made a big difference or not. I mean, I haven't seen any results via the chronograph or groups that are different between the lime and dry neck lube and the graphite. So graphite is way cheaper than buying like that tiny little packet of neck lube for horrendous amounts of dollars. So I'm going to carry on with graphite. I bought a whole tin of that, a West Systems stuff. So for those who don't know anything about boating and fiberglass and things like that, sometimes you will add graphite to fiberglass to reduce friction, certain areas, certain things. And so you can buy like a whole tin of it for like $20 or $30. It's, you know, dirt cheap. I think it's a 2-litre tin, don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure that's more graphite than I'll need in my lifetime. But, you know, it's nice to have it there. I also tumble like lead round ball, buckshot, things like that in graphite as well. So it's a dual purpose. And also use graphite in just about anything as a dry lube. So, you know, never hurts to have graphite around. So, right now I'm doing the 6.5 Creedmoor, but really we're talking about the 223 because that's the one I did the experiment with. So it's out of my 223 Tikka T3X CTR, so the heavy, you know, contour barrel that lives in a KRG Bravo chassis. You've probably seen that on the channel. And big, nice comp brake from MDT on the end of that. It recoils less than a 22 probably. Heavy rifle, big brake. It's almost cheating, but if you ain't cheating, you ain't winning. So what happened is the answer. This is virginal brass that I'm doing now. The 223 brass was also virginal, also normal. And so what I did was I took my, you know, favorite load for that rifle, and I did some with no neck sizing, uniforming, whatever, just literally straight out of the packet brass. And then the other ones I have done this neck expansion with the L.E. Wilson die. It made a huge difference. Not so much in the grouping, but in the chronograph result. Without boring you and me sitting here making a whole lot of nonsense, I'm going to switch over to some screens, some photos of some targets and some chronograph results, and let's actually put some numbers to those differences.
Okay, so let's start with the chronograph results. So the one that you're seeing on the left-hand side is just my favorite standard load with the virginal brass straight out of the packet. The right-hand side is being neck mandrel sized with the Ellie Wilson die. So as you can see, we've gone from a standard deviation of 8.4 feet per second right down to 3, which is a fantastic result, really. The spread has also dropped down into single digits at 7.2, and the other thing that I really didn't consider and wasn't quite expecting was the velocity change. So we're seeing a little increase in velocity with those cases that have had the neck mandrel sizing. Now, that could be down to several things. Some people reckon like a tighter neck and a tighter crimp builds more pressure and gives you more velocity. In this case, there's more velocity, and it never hurts to have a little bit more velocity at the end of the day. So if you want to have a further look into these, just hit pause now, and we're going to move on to the grouping. Right, so to keep things the same again, left hand side is virgin brass untouched, right hand side is neck mandrel sized. So as you can see, not a huge improvement. I definitely pulled shot number 2 on the right hand target, so that probably doesn't help the situation, and to be fair, I probably pulled shot 1 on the other target too. So not my best shooting overall, but you're still seeing that group reduce slightly. On the mandrel sized necks on the right hand side, I'd be very, very confident in taking away that number 2, calling it me, human error, and just measuring the rest of that group. I'm more concerned about the velocities that we've just been through, because that's what gives you hits and consistency at longer ranges. Sometimes really, really great hand loads don't group super well at 100, but when you start getting them further and further out, you get those consistent results and get hits on target.
Right, so that's it, folks. That is the numbers. That is the real world data that says that this die is worth it, in my opinion. You know, I could have done, 10 rounds of each or whatever. A little pressed with time, and my club bench rest competition is a 5-round group. So, I usually get to have the opportunity to do 2 of those in a session, so that's why they're 5-round groups each. Time is not always on my side. So would I buy the die again? Yeah, absolutely. Is it worth doing it for every single caliber I shoot? Not really. Where it comes in my opinion, is anything I'm trying to get precision out of. So whether that's, shooting long range with a 6.5 Creedmoor or a 308, or just trying to shoot really, really tiny groups at 100 yards, I think that this absolutely helps. Now, I know my context also is with virgin brass rather than, once fired and resized or shoulder bumped brass and then doing it. I think to get a quantifiable result in numbers out of that is probably going to be quite difficult. I have seen in the comments of the first videos too that people are not seeing their brass grow as much, or just not seeing it grow at all. That's going to be an interesting one. Time will tell on that. Once again, this is virgin brass. I haven't even trimmed the necks. Being Norma, should be pretty consistent anyway, but we'll just see how many reloads it takes. And I've bought quite a bit of brass, so it's going to take me a while to get through anyway. It's a fair price die, given the quality of it and how long it should last you, your entire reloading career and then some. Well worth the investment in my opinion. So folks, that's the Ellie Wilson neck expanding mandrel die. Fantastic piece of kit. So as always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments down below. As always, the first link in the description, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Happy shooting.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. And if you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. And if you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Catch you next time.